We didn't get where we are by sitting on our laurels.
Yes? What?
These orders. A Vanguard captain. You... Yes, sir. I'll make sure they get what they require. That must make you my Vanguard captain. Welcome to Interstellar Affairs. I'm Deputy Chief Diplomat McIntyre, Chief Yassine's second-in-command. I heard you were instrumental in protecting the city from the attack. You have my gratitude. I was also informed that you gave quite the presentation to the cabinet. Chief Yassine wants you to know the Interstellar Affairs Office is fully committed to this endeavor, accessing the Terramorph data and beyond. We're going to do everything in our power to make sure you have the tools you need. And that means first getting you into the archives. You do know what the archives are, correct?
Someone paid attention in current events. So, then you also know that it was originally managed by the 3 major galactic players. Access to the archives is only granted in cases of dire emergency, and requires a one-time use code from each of the 3 Armistice signatories. UC, Freestar Collective, and House Varun.
Now, the UC is already on board, so that means we'll need to convince 2 people. The ambassadors of the Freestar Collective and House Varun to hand over their codes. Get them both and you'll have your data. But that's a lot easier said than done. It won't be.
Both ambassadors have reasons they won't, or can't, work with us. Now, I'll provide guidance on how we believe you can acquire each code, but ultimately, it'll be up to you to get them both to cooperate.
And I do mean cooperate. Threats and violence are off the table here. Though that doesn't mean we can't get creative.
But it does mean we need to get you up to speed on who you're dealing with. Who do you want to start with? Ambassador Radcliffe of Freestar, or Ambassador Balmore of House Varun? The good Ambassador Radcliffe. She's a veteran of the Colony War, and her only goal in life is to make ours miserable.
If Sam is any example of how stubborn the Freestar people can be, then I can imagine how difficult it must be.
Now, officially, our office is suggesting you try and negotiate with her.
Use your experiences as a member of the military and with the threat we're facing to convince...
And who knows? Maybe that'll work. Stranger things have happened. But my suspicion is we're going to have to rely on other tools.
Certainly. See, good diplomacy is all about the careful application of pressure. We just need to find the squeeze.
UC Intelligence has a recording device planted in the ambassador's living quarters, which we suspect you can use to your advantage.
But getting caught trespassing is a quick way to land yourself in an embassy holding cell.
So, if you are going to try and access the device, you're going to need to find a way in there.
Now, we recovered some intel we believe should be able to help with that. But there's also a disgruntled staff member you might be able to pump for information.
All right. Here, your diplomatic ID. I'll give them a heads up, you're on your way.
And take these. Chief Yassine wanted you to have some options on how...
Ambassador Balmore's a challenge. When the rest of House Varun retreated into seclusion shortly after the signing of the armistice, Balmore stayed here. He's since lent his support to a small number of archival requests, so there's real hope he might again, though claiming to know how a member of House Varun thinks is a quick way to earn yourself a psych eval.
Well said. There's no reason to assume they're any worse than us, despite their cultural beliefs.
Of course, but there is another wrinkle. We're not 100% sure Balmore's actually still alive. His public appearances were always rare, but it's been several years now since he last poked his... Scans of the facility show life signs, but not the kind we were expecting.
Your task is to find him and kindly but firmly remind him of his duties under the armistice. I have no doubt. Now, the embassy front door isn't an option, but our spies have stated there's a side entrance that should allow you access. Here, this device should get you all the way down to the embassy interior. And fair warning, we received a report that alarms might have been tripped inside the embassy during the attacks.
Now, if you have additional questions or require clearance for a new approach we haven't already discussed, I'd suggest you start with Ambassador Radcliffe. Approach her while the attack is still fresh in her, and be smart out there, Cap.
We should have a talk. When you have the time, of course. Junk you're hauling is seriously slowing you down.
Inspectors ship for heat leeches every couple landings.
There's something I need to do.
Got anything you need to offer? Sure thing. We'll get it.
I'm okay.
Here, I have something for you. You're welcome. I picked it up on one of our latest planetary expeditions. I'm more than just an extra gun, you know.
Well, Dad. So, what do you
I'm just pleased I get to utilize some of my old field collecting skills. Check back with me from time to time after we return from our planetary jaunts.
Okay, pardon. Here you go.
Something I need to discuss with you. Yes?
visitor?
We should have a talk. When you have the time, of course. Visitors are welcome. I'm going to be up front. I'm not happy visiting anything related to the Freestar Collective.
Still can't protect their own
Indeed.
never fails to disappoint. I just wish I hadn't received the news from an SSNN broadcast. We have a strategic advantage to maintain, Mr. Long.
Official business?
Of course.
Talk to the ambassador.
I'll make sure it doesn't happen again.
Excuse me. Are you supposed to be in here? I'm sorry. Do you have an appointment? Ah, you're the one McIntyre called about. The eyewitness. She said you were at the spaceport. You have my thanks for what you did down there, truly. Now, she also mentioned that, and maybe it was just a bad connection, that now the UC wants terramorph data from the Armistice archives, some of the most highly guarded information in the galaxy. I can only presume you're here to tell me I misheard her and that they didn't send you, local hero, to futilely beg on their behalf. I was afraid of that. Let me be frank, Captain. The answer is no. That information is there because it is dangerous. I will not be the one responsible for its release. Now, why don't you quit wasting my time and yours? You're really gonna push this? All right, I will give you one chance. I'm listening. Preventing more deaths is precisely what I'm trying to do by keeping... I suppose you're right. Our job and our responsibility. You're not gonna flatter me into... Captain, I'm sorry, but my answer is not changing. The UC is just gonna have to find...
Sorry. Oh, what? You're the Vanguard captain, right? You know, I was about to board the Nat to the spaceport when the alarm triggered. Sounds like I got real lucky. And like I've got you to thank for things not being a lot uglier. Well, then you have my earnest thanks. But look, they said you were coming here on official business. The ambassador likes to handle all that personally, even if she does have trained diplomats here to help her. And I don't want to get shipped back to Aquila City, so you should probably go speak to her. You want to work with me? Why don't we talk somewhere... So you want me to work with you? But why now? Why me? No, I think that's a pretty safe assumption. And no other city should have to go through what happened here. So then, what would you need from me? Okay, first, you need her bio key, and that thing doesn't leave her side. Better chance of splitting the atom with a spoon than me getting that from her. Her quarters. Huh. Oh, that's doable. And you and the UC will be providing me with... Oh, wait. I thought you were looking to hire me. I'm not taking a bribe. Okay, you've got yourself a deal. Okay, so there's a utility corridor that leads to the ambassador's quarter. Here, the key. Whatever you do, don't let the guards see you entering or exiting the utility section, or you're gonna be in serious hot water. I'll keep an ear out for more instructions from the UC.
Agent detected. Patching in playback.
Are you alright, Ambassador? It seems the Council of Governors has rejected my appeal to join. Again. Which means you and I are stuck in this colonial rat cage until we die. But I think we might need to. We should expedite the process.
What are you getting at, ma'am?
I mean, my requests keep being rejected because they don't want to add a seat, right? But what if? What if one opened up? The lives is hard.
I can't believe you just stole that.
Not like anyone was business.
We should have a talk
I think
when
it's
you
time
have
to
the
get
time,
some
of
sleep.
course.
Think about it. Maybe we can reach out to some experts at that sort of thing, huh? Good night, Eva.
Sounds like it was a real mess down
Did I not make myself abundantly clear, Captain? You're not getting access to the archives. Excuse me? I have no idea what you're talking about. No. If the council found out, I'd lose my position. I'd be exiled. I'd be... Look, I believe we may have gotten off on the wrong foot. The issue at hand is one of trust. So perhaps if I can trust you to keep this little secret between us, then maybe we can find a way to trust the UC with access to the archive. Good. I appreciate you working with me. Just like I'm sure our great powers will. In fact, I think there's an opportunity here. Keep both our factions happy, and I can only let you get the information on the Terramorphs. Anything else and people will get and all research will need to be monitored. Freestar scientific observers making sure everything's... But those 2 items should be enough to allay any... Good. They tell me it should only take a moment. And there. Here you go. I hope that'll be enough to maintain your discretion.
been 2 decades since we were at war with the Collective. It seems like only yesterday. Something I'd like to discuss. This isn't what I expected. It appears the family they were with before has overgrown the entire embassy. I have something I need to discuss with you. I've never seen a tree like this before.
punishment becomes providence. A reminder we can never truly know the Great Serpent's designs for us. You have my thanks, and my apologies for the ordeal you just endured. Come, let us discuss. Not the ideal introduction, I suppose, giving you a grand tour of the embassy via barely functioning intercoms. I do greatly appreciate your persistence. I suspect the Venom tree upstairs has worked itself into more systems than I'd realized. But then again, who could cage such a beauty? Tell me though, what is it like outside? I heard the broadcast mentioning an attack. Then the embassy was struck with a power surge and then... silence. Has the rest of the city suffered quite so badly? Is that right, huh? I shall need to have these repairs seen to sooner rather than later. Now, it cannot solely be the Serpent's grace that brought you here at such an opportune moment. You were sent by the UC. That much is obvious. Who else could just waltz through my door, hmm? And the broadcast spoke of terror morphs at the spaceport. A worrying occurrence, certainly, but coming here of all places, when all I could provide is some enthused cheerleading and... an archive code. So the UC requires information, then. The preservation of life stands as the very purpose of the archives. Using its data. But, if I am to grant you access, I have a requirement. For years, House Varun has been known only as an agent of slaughter. We founded this embassy with hopes of shedding that legacy. With little success. In exchange for my code, I require this. You must be the one who the knowledge you ask for isn't evil. No knowledge is. It is we who bend it to evil ends.
We'll do everything we can to make certain that happens.
Well, then I shall not fear. Please, follow me.
We should have a talk. When you have the time, of course. Carrying enough clutter there, or should we find some to discuss with?
Let's hope it still works. And there. Let it be used for good.
Captain, I just received a couple messages from an operative in the embassy office. Did you actually succeed? With Radcliffe? And Balmore? Was he alive? Did they both actually agree? That's incredible. I wasn't sure Radcliffe would ever get on board. I'm very much looking forward to getting the debrief on how precisely you managed to... Regardless, superlative work, Captain. And now, I've already arranged everything with the archival monitors. When you get down there, the UC monitor will give you instructions on how to deploy the codes. Here, the UC code piece and an archival access card. The entrance is just on the other side of the plaza across from Mast. Absolute best behavior down there.
Hello.
Just doesn't add up.
Captain, we've been expecting you. Please approach the monitoring station and we will go over the rules. Welcome, Captain, to the archives. To proceed, you will need to deposit your codes into the 3 corresponding receptacles. Once they are verified, I will open the door. Your data resides in Unit 18. You will not be able to access any of the other units. Once you've collected your data, return to the entrance. You may insert the first of the archival codes when you're ready. Begin. All verified. Unlock. You may proceed, Captain.
There you are. Captain. Surprised to find out we're having visitors as we work.
Major Sinan and I were just discussing the merits of your planned interfactional cooperation. I think it's a great idea. Get them invested in the solution. Make it clear we've got nothing to hide.
I'm sure they'll be lovely house guests.
Now, Captain, if you wouldn't mind transferring the documents to the Major, she and I have been discussing next steps.
Time for us to start getting some real answers. And figure out if we've been asking the right questions. So whenever you're ready. Acknowledged and accepted, Captain. So with the data out of the way, we've been discussing where exactly this work's getting done. The Red Devil's headquarters on Mars, back where you found Percival, seemed the natural spot. Already has the equipment, the safety measures. Should even be able to house its own cadre of independent observers. Though it sounded like the deputy had a few more things she needed to discuss with you first.
Indeed. The most important of which is getting you your citizenship.
Then I guess we'll see you on Mars.
Captain, if you'll follow me.
Always good to see another badge.
All right, Captain. Are you ready to become a citizen of the United Colonies? Good. This isn't the only item we need to discuss, so please raise your hand. Captain, through your actions today and in days past, you have earned your place among the United Colonies. Through service, bravery, strength, and upholding of the mutual good. Will you carry and cultivate these values for as long? Then, Captain, I'm pleased to welcome you into the United Colonies as a full citizen. Here, your official ID and your citizenship dispensation.
We've also let the Aphelion Realty office out in the plaza know you're approved to purchase property.
Now, the other item we needed to discuss. There's a member of the UC who's asked to speak to you, but this...
Normally, we wouldn't even consider something like this, but we think this person has information that could prove useful in dealing with the Terramorphs. And they've stated they'll only share it with you. They asked for you by name.
So I need your agreement that everything you're about to see is kept in the strictest confidence. Let's hope it never comes to that. Head to the elevator. You're going to subsection 7. I'll make sure you're cleared for access by the time you get there.
We should have a talk, when you have the time.
was kind enough to give me a few files to peruse. Quite the series of accomplishments you've managed. But now you face a foe unlike any other. An invisible enemy, lurking in the shadows. You're going to need all the help you can get. Which is why I hoped we could speak. Do you know who I am? Perceptive. I like that. I'm Francois Sanon, but most know me as Victus. I was an admiral during the Colony War. One of its great villains, if you believe the slates. I was to be executed for my crimes. But the previous regime deemed me too valuable to simply discard. So they put me here. A sacrifice on the altar of peace. Even my death served the colonies. One final act of rebellion by the leadership that lost the Colony War. The trial was authentic. I faced tribunal with dignity, but my execution, staged. A lethal injection that was anything but. The cabinet at the time, long gone now, wished to keep me on as an advisor, and considering the other option, I was in no place to refuse. So I elected to trade my freedom for my continued existence. But such is the life of a soldier. Captain, please. There are no clean hands in galactic politics. We all do what we must to keep ourselves safe. Which, right now, means finding a way to protect the United Colonies and beyond from additional terramorph attacks. An effort you and my progeny Hadrian have already made impressive progress on. And I'd like to help. Though I am curious. Has she shared with you the nature of our little family? Did she? So willing to trust Hadrian. I never did succeed in driving that out of her. Our relationship has always been a challenging one. The Major was born to become a great leader, carry on the legacy I established, and was given all the finest training to support it. And she excelled. But the universe cut all that short. Now, though, it's placed even more crucial work in front of the two of you. And I think I have a part to play in helping you accomplish what you've set out to do. After some long years earning the trust of this current regime, the UC has been permitting me to work alongside one of their recovery teams. Helping them gather intelligence on, locate, and organize scenarios to lure in some of the criminals that evaded justice after the Colony War. With quite a few successes, I might add. But in the process, I managed to find something else. The names and locations of Hadrian and Percival's old research team. Valuable manpower for the effort you're about to embark on. I'll tell you where they are, but in exchange, I need something dealt with. There is a former colleague of mine, a man by the name of Dr. Reginald Orlaise. Like myself and Hadrian, he was involved in some of the United Colony's more problematic lines of research. Mech weapons were his specialty. If it dealt death, he could make a deal more. When the Colony War ended, he fled, refusing to face tribunal, and has continued to peddle his skills to the highest bidder to this day. But I finally found him. I want you to track him down and deal with him. However you're able. I'm not expecting he'll come quietly. Bring me evidence that the job's done, and I'll tell you what I know. Good. According to my information, he's been hiding around the world of Etheria. Wolf system. There's a star station in the vicinity. The Den. The head of the local vanguard, one Captain Marquez.
Complaint? Then you want UC security, not the Vanguard. Oh, apologies, Captain. Didn't recognize you without the uniform. So, what can I do for you? Orlaise. Doesn't ring a bell. Anything you can tell me about him? Suit yourself. Well, I can tell you there's no one on the Den by that name. But there has been a rumor about a ship floating out around Etheria. They call it the Warlock. Maybe this Orlaise of yours is the one piloting it. I can give you the coordinates to its last sighted location if you want. That part of Etheria's sky is an old debris field. Plenty dangerous. Sure thing. Here. This should get you pointed in the... Go get your man.
Need some work done? Looks to me like you... Sure, how about it?
Mission complete.
What can I help you with? We should have a talk when you have the time, of course.
Authorized personnel. Fred has to stay here.
Welcome back, Captain. Do you have some news for me regarding Dr. Olays? So he didn't come quietly then, as I suspected. I presume you have evidence of this. Excellent. Please, deposit it in the transfer system.
Transfer accepted.
Would you look at that? Kept it all these years. Some simply couldn't let go of that old world. This is fine work, Captain. I can ensure the remaining team members find their way to the Red Devil's headquarters. Except for one. That one you'll need to collect yourself. His name is Kaiser. You can find him on the Freestar world of Nira, wandering the battlefield there. The area was ground zero for xeno-weapon deployments during the war, so I would arm yourself appropriately. And I think you'll want to check in with Hadrian and Dr. Walker before paying it a visit. Kaiser will likely have security protocols you'll need their help to overcome. Of course, we're protecting the galaxy, Captain.
There's something I need to talk to you about.
Well, you're back. Oh no, don't start. I've had enough Barrett for one lifetime. I don't... More pirates showed up when you were gone. We weren't as lucky this time. Calvert, Troy, some of the new Dusties, they didn't make it. It's not like we were eager to stick around, but we had injured people on recovery, and pickup coming at some point. Anyway, I was pinned down behind some crates with Barrett. Bullets and laser fire everywhere. No smile on that damn carefree face of his. I started steeling myself to go out fighting. Then that idiot puts his hand on my shoulder and says, "Stay here, Lynn. I got you."
Not quite. Barrett is more dangerous than you might think.
Next thing I know, 2 of the pirates are dead, and he's got the 3rd one in a headlock. Drags him out into the open at gunpoint and demands to talk, or else I'm going to demonstrate. And that's when they brought out Hella. I didn't overhear everything, but after the 10 longest seconds of my life, Barrett put his hands up, and that's the last I saw of either of them. They could have grav-jumped anywhere. I tried pinging a transmission to the ship in the comms building before they left, but the... You want to try it? Go ahead. But the odds of them being alive, even if you could find them... The frost is starting to interfere with my instruments. Try fixing that computer?
I'm packing up, Dusty. Don't see what good it will do since they're already gone, but fine.
Jump calculations before we're out of range. Out of range of what? Out of range of the sensor array on Vectera. Would you keep up? Once we're outside the star system, the bandwidth goes from instant to never. What good is sending transmission down there? Tell me how she doesn't even ever slip. You underestimate how many of my admirers there are in the galaxy.
So, you actually get that computer working again? What? Let me see that. Funny. Even knowing he's alive, I still never want to see him again. Okay. Let me send you the location data embedded in the transmission. But be a while before Argos comes to pick me up. And hey, if you ever need a little extra help, seems like you've been keeping my contracts up with all. Sure. I don't mind taking orders from a... Works for me. Right.
Yeah? Thanks for giving me a moment of your time. I promise this won't take long. I thought you deserved to know how proud I am that you chose to side with the United Colonies and put an end to the Crimson Fleet. You've almost single-handedly saved the settled systems from one of its most dangerous enemies. I can't possibly commend you highly enough. Well, I'm not sure I deserve that, but I appreciate it all the same. What I want to know is what motivated you into making the right decision. You had Crix's legacy in hand, and you could have easily taken it to the key. Instead, you flew it to the Vigilance. Yes, that would have been unfortunate. The Crimson Fleet would have had enough wealth to fund their operation for decades. So, no regrets betraying Delgado, then? I imagine you and he formed quite a partnership right up until... Goodness. I didn't expect you to be so blunt, but I appreciate the honesty. At least things will be quieter in the spaceways for a while. I suppose my final concern is how long this newfound peace will last. I wish I could share your optimism. My largest concern are the reports that Neva Mora was never captured or killed. My hope is that she was smart and went into permanent exile. Ah, well, it appears I've soured the mood of our lovely conversation. I trust my mindless prattle hasn't been too much of a bother. When you have a moment, I'd like
like to speak to you. Thanks for taking time to chat. I really need a friendly ear right about now. I received a message from Constellation, and it's given me a lot to think about. No, it's nothing like that. It's just a list of requests. Things I would normally handle if I was there. Something like that. It's difficult to explain. Before I joined Constellation, I served for 8 years as the head of the Navigator Corps. Yeah, I suppose painful is an appropriate way to put it. You see, the top brass demanded press-worthy discoveries to justify the spending, and money was tight after the war. At the end of the day, I was in charge, so the blame... Oh, like hell I can't. You once told me that you favored the journey over the destination, so I'm hoping you'll understand what I'm trying to say. I failed, because I was more concerned about exploring the stars than pushing a pencil. If I had fought harder, I'm convinced our division may have had a chance to prove it. That's just it, though. Did I push too hard? Did they shut us down because I wasn't quietly sitting at my desk approving meaningless memos? I'll never know. Well, that brings us to this message now. Call it whatever you want. My draft, it elevates me to these positions of authority. But all I want to do is explore, not sit and make sure all the accounts are balanced. Yes, exactly. If it's obvious to you, imagine how obvious it is to someone like Barrett or Mateo. Oh, they must be itching to replace... Oh my god. I'm so sorry. Oh, here you are trying to help me, and I'm... You have to understand. Once Aja retired, I lost the only person that gave a damn. Look, it's clear that you have feelings for me. It's just... I've never had time for this sort of thing. Please, it's not you. It's me. I'm just not ready to get that. But thank you for being there.
Oh, hey, it's you. And here I thought you were some pirate coming back to kill me. Lucky me, right? Nah, I'll be alright. Just, you know, wasn't trying to move around too much with all the... Man, I was so terrified when I got pulled on board that pirate ship. Barrett was all... Sorry, brother, I'll get us out of this. Trust me. Yeah, I'm starting to see that. He tells me we need to start pretending to fight each other. Trick pirates into thinking they need to come in before one of us gets killed. I just remember him shouting, "This kid is a killer. How am I supposed to defend myself again?" I mean, I didn't think it would work, but they came in. All of a sudden, we were wrestling with two of them. Bingo. Blasted the pilot right in the back. Through to the flight console. I blacked out. And when I came to, there he was, smiling like it was just another day on the job. You missed the fun part, Heller. I mean, I go through all the trouble of saving your butt, and you weren't even awake to notice. Oh, yeah. Probably should have talked about that first. So, I was real excited when a ship showed up. Then, less excited when and then, really less excited when Barrett said, "It's okay." I was drifting in and out, but yeah, I think so. Got a signal from the ship before they grav jumped. Guessing it was Barrett. Haven't really been in a good space to have a listen. Hey, I should come with you, right? Yeah, just, don't ask me to operate. Give me a minute. I think the worst of it is... Yeah, I'll be alright. I'll be alright. Let me know when you want to head out. Still think there might be a spot for me on your ship? Whew, oh, I'm glad to hear you say... You got it. Catch you on the... I'm getting antsy just standing here.
You've given the fleet a lot of trouble, Barrett.
Hey, since when is surviving being attacked causing trouble? Isn't that just fighting back? Hey, pilot, could you move your arm a little bit to the left? I can't make out the console.
Don't move! He's trying to figure out our destination. Probably transmitting this conversation right now while we're still in orbit.
Well, yeah, thought I was making that pretty obvious. Okay, put the gun down. I'm done. See? My retinas are pointing away from the console and towards this lovely view of space. space we have out the window.
Time up. Once we get back to the base, the fun starts.
I'll head to my crew position.
I'm ready to help out whenever you need me.
Hope you've enjoyed your stay here. We're in orbit. What next? Landing gear's ready.
Been in the Vanguard a long time. The faces change.
uncertainty to the universe at all. Once you really start getting out, all the physics kind of turn into suggestions.
You're pulling my leg again, right?
I feel too bad about you killing someone who kidnapped me and probably murdered a lot of people. Matsura the Grim? Honestly, a pretty nice guy as far as pirates go. I think I butted heads with his mentor once years back. At the same kind of surprisingly hospital. Okay, right.
Insertion achieved. We're spacebound again.
Done. Thanks again for the help. Over and out.
Every time I return here, I'm reminded of the importance of Constellation's contributions to exploration.
Well, some of us were. I see what you did there, Walter. And I know you've been secretly crying into your piles of money just waiting for my return.
Actually, Walter has been complaining about you more than usual, which is always a sign that he's worried.
Don't start, Country.
Wait, is that? And to think the first artifact was taking up dust on the library shelf. Now look at them all. You feel it a bit, can't you? Ever since I found the second one, had the visions. Being around them is just comforting. So hey, I'm still not 100%, plus I feel guilty dragging you into all of this. Why don't I stick around? Help you get adjusted to the weird corners of the universe. You don't want to get dragged down in the gravity of my genius.
I am at your service.
Right, Captain. Where are we headed next?
I would have loved to see the look on those pirates.
Once news of the fleet's demise hits the airwaves, good. The more you find, the stronger our case. It's amazing that all this romantic nonsense about Crix's legacy really just amounts to a rumor Jasper Crix picked up in jail. It just goes to show you how a tiny rumor can snowball into a full-blown fairy. That it? Are you kidding me? Dombrowski was already making a 6-figure salary, and yet he couldn't resist starting an embezzlement scheme. It makes me sick. It's gonna be an absolute pleasure to throw his butt in prison. Anything else? Understood. I'll be here if you have any more questions.
This is United Colony Space. Maintain current course while we scan for contraband. Scan complete. Go ahead and land.
Port is clear. We're docked.
We got a rook on deck. Good to see Constellation getting some fresh blood.
Glad you two finally have a chance to meet.
Wish I could have been down at the lodge to see the artifacts come together. But I got a little lost peeking through the eye. Probably would have just gotten annoyed at being bothered. I'll catch a smile at our next big revelation. You know there's more to come. Now, this station, the Eye, rigged up for deep space scans. Barrett and Sarah teased out the signs of where our artifacts could be hiding after we caught our second one. But the data takes a slow ride along the Sea of Light. Years or decades between us and the fringes of space without a grav drive. You won't be the only constellation out there. Andreja and Matteo are both following up on scan. Matteo went out recently, but Andreja, it's been a while. Hate to pull a worried old man act.
Yes, indeed. Stop worrying so much, Vladimir. If she's out there, we'll find her.
She should be at one of the 2 sites I've marked on your star map. Can take care of herself, but anyway, hopefully you'll be catching Fortune's smile, and we'll have some more artifacts to take a closer look at. Happy hunting. Usually it doesn't. I'm overdrawn from Lady Luck 3 times over. It's a long tale to tip your ear on, but if you ever wanted to visit, I have a house out there in the Starfield. Thought I was going to see life's eclipse from there, but if you do go there, turn the lights off when you leave.
Sounds good to go.
terminal up above, on the catwalk. We should search for a way up. experimented upon here best remains hidden in the past. Okay, that's it. Time to sell some of your junk.
Please stand back. This unit is on patrol.
Oh, I never get tired of that.
Transferring parts now. Can't stay here gabbing all day. Fly safe.
Captain, landing procedure initiated.
Used to keep my suit walks short until I learned you can go to the bathroom in these things.
I have things for you.
I hope Cora doesn't get too much.
Don't come any closer. Identify yourself.
You are from Constellation. Vladimir said someone might be coming.
I'm just glad we found you unharmed, Andreja. Vladimir and I were worried.
You are the newest member, yes? Do they up? Perhaps. I suspect Vladimir worried you might find me on the ground. We waste time. We should complete our mission and then we can... did not respond when I called to you after you pulled out the artifact. Does that mean Barrett's theory and experience were correct? The artifact grants the first person who touches it a vision? The fact that it has happened to both you and... I think it is important that we discuss what you... that man. It was, yes. A very practical outlook, not one I find is shared among... Argos. I have heard of this company. Small, reckless. I do not have experience with this profession, but we both seem to be Please, I would ask that you not mention to Vladimir. This is not the first time that Varun zealots have well, it has been a while since I was given an assignment on my own. Mom, this means we are in agreement. I will finish here and return to New Atlantis when I can.
I have something for you when you have a moment. I wonder if any discovery reports have come in while we were away.
I hope you are satisfied with the orders available to you.
Look at you two. I'm jealous. I tried following up on some leads myself, but came back empty-handed. They could be anywhere, can't they? Embedded in a rock, or in the hands of an unsuspecting novelty goods trader? I catch myself just staring at the collection sometimes. Maybe that's how our ancestors felt when they were looking up at the...
They didn't just gawk at the stars, Mateo. They explored. They tested. Science brought us to space, not...
I disagree. What's the point of science if not...
Not every dream is a pleasant one. I agree with Noel. The work...
You're with me, right? Science or dream? Another realist has joined our ranks.
The truth hurts, Mateo.
Don't look at me. You two already know my flag is firmly planted in the science...
You know what? I just realized I completely overtook this whole conversation. This should be about you and Andrasia celebrating a win for the group.
I do not mind being asked to join in a debate. It was good to hear everyone's sides. But I do agree that we accomplished something together. Thank you for your help. I have no objections.
Noel, pulling some interesting data from those new artifacts. Tell the Rook to meet